Speaking of great rivals, Dundalk took on Drogheda United in the Louth derby at Oriel Park. Both sides looking for their first win of the season. Plenty of goals and controversy in this one. Welcome back to MNS. Earlier in the show we watched the big Dublin derby between Bows and Rovers. With Dundalk back in the big time, it gave us our first Louth derby in Premier Division in 7 years. Both Dundalk and Drogheda were looking for their first win of the season at Oriel Park on Friday night. Tony O'Donoghue has this report.
If some players weren't too sure how important the Louth derby is, the huge crowd at Oriel let them know soon enough. Dundalk started well and Manstrom's flick on caused all sorts of problems for the United defence. The shot from O'Brien, saved by Steve Williams, the home fan sensing it could be a good night. The Lily Whites continued to apply the pressure, George O'Callaghan looking for the movement of Darren Manstrom at the near post. There was a fluency to Dundalk's play that led to chance after chance being creative. Harpel Singh's teasing cross into the danger zone and Conor Kenna's handball was fairly obvious. An easy decision for Mr Buttimer as Kenna saw red. Chris Turner stepped up to the spot and coolly slotted home past Williams for his and Dundalk's first goal of the season. The pressure was unrelenting, Harpel Singh a constant thorn and former Drogheda skipper Declan Fabio O'Brien a clear and present danger for his new club. It really was all Dundalk, and so this Drogheda corner sneaks into the first half highlights in the interest of balance. Dundalk were completely on top in the middle of the park, and that dominance led to a second just minutes before the break. Singh again supplying the cross that Williams flapped at, and Manstrom swept the ball home at the far post. Claims from the Drogs for handball, but the goal was good, 2-0 and bragging rights at half-time. The second half continued in the same mould as Dundalk continued to look dangerous. Manstrom bringing Kelly into the play here, and his cross met rather awkwardly by O'Brien at the far post. Dundalk put the game beyond all reasonable doubt just 3 minutes into the half. Alan McNally's attempted back pass latched onto by Fabio. As he went around Williams, the keeper took him out. Again an easy decision for the referee, who must have decided that Williams was not the last man. The former Dundalk netminder stood up to Chris Turner for the second time on the night. This time Turner sent him the wrong way for his second and Dundalk's third. And what about this for play of the day? Fabio, from about 30 yards, curls this effort past Williams. It came back off the upright, but would the former Drogheda captain have celebrated a goal against his old club? Drogheda's 10 men gamely tried to get back into it. James Chambers floated the ball into the danger zone and Thomas Heary got a vital touch to force the ball away for a corner. And from that corner, David O'Connor rose highest. Alan McNally knew though there was to be no consolation this evening. Credit to Alan Matthews' side for finishing strongly. Robbie Farrell, who scored 4 for Dundalk on the last day of last season, coming close for his new club. But the plaudits and the points go to Dundalk. Great skill from Turner, setting up O'Brien, and his shot flashed across the goal. Dundalk, though, are off the mark and off the bottom of the table, replaced in the basement by Drogheda.
The atmosphere is always great between these two clubs. Our home fans were brilliant. They've been brilliant since the start of the year, so hopefully we can keep that going and give them some more to shout about.
What we spoke at half-time went out the window because again we gave away a sloppy penalty. So we were poor, and that's what disappointed me tonight. We weren't good enough, we didn't deserve anything out of the game. But at the end of the day, we move on.
This result's gone now, we need to get back into work on Monday. We've got a really difficult game next week against St Pat's, but that's the beauty of this league. I think you can't really let rest in your laurels. If you do, you'll get yourself into trouble.
Damien, that was a good win for Dundalk, wasn't it?
An important win. I mean, it's great to see the derby there, the big crowd. Dundalk is traditionally a very big club in Irish football, and it's good to see them winning, and it's good to see them. I think they'll be challenging for honours this season. I think Sean signs good players.
Really? Challenging for honours?
Yeah, I do. I think Sean has taken good players from Sligo to Bows, and then Bows to Dundalk, and he's looking for security to stay in the division. He'll do that. But I would be looking for them to maybe, at the very least, get a European spot. Now, I'm not trying to put pressure on, but look at the experienced players they've got, the big crowd behind them, his own determination. I think they could surprise a lot of people.
And Chris Turner took your advice as well. 2 penalties, 1 right, 1 left.
Exactly, yeah. Don't become predictable. I try and tell Pat in his dress sense of that.
Actually, it was good of you to wear pink in honour of Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
For Rovers.
Drogheda problems, no goals in 3 matches, bottom of the table. And they have a tough task ahead, haven't they?
I think Alan Matthews summed it all up. I mean, he said it was a very poor performance. What they spoke about half-time went out the window, didn't happen. Louth derby, first one for 7 years, and they don't perform. I mean, if you're not going to perform in a derby game, then you've got serious problems. So they have to have a good talk amongst themselves this week and maybe try and get back to winning ways. But it's going to be very, very difficult for them at the moment, and it's not looking good.
And money's too tight to mention, as they say. So it's not a question of spending big and bringing guys in, Colin, for Drogheda.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, they're still around. They're still a club which, you know, speaks volumes for the people connected with the club and, you know, the town itself. I think, you know, they'll probably be more happy with actually being alive as a club rather than looking at, you know, sustaining any type of challenge, you know.
I wonder, would Drogheda have been better off being relegated the way some clubs were when they had problems and went into administration and so on, and rebuilding from the first division?
I don't think they would want that, really. I mean, I think they tried everything in their power to stay in the division. They have, but with everything that was happening and no one knowing where it was going to go, it left it very late to get players in. Obviously, a manager was brought in late, and they're really struggling now. And you know, you feel for them from the heights of the European Cup game out in Kiev when they were so close, hitting the post and being seconds away from a lot of money to being where they are now. It's sad, but hopefully they got the right people behind the scenes to bring them back up and, you know, give them a bit of time. But at the moment, it's looking very, very dodgy for them.
Nice easy one against Bows next week for them.